I got a red dot. That's going to mean something. Oh man, they're coming in the doors already. We'll get in here, have a seat. We'll get going shortly. It says 0 watching, and then I move the screen here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a whole bunch of people here. We got Shay Hoffmaster showing up. There's a dedicated fan right there. Flea Market Coin Hunters. Victor had a giveaway for his 300 subscribers, reaching that milestone. I guess I won some quarters. Victor, you're going to have to give them away on your 500 subscriber milestone. Because I got so many quarters here, I don't know what to do with them. Ray Hepburn has joined us. Good to see you, Ray. Ray's got a great channel. Get over and watch that. We got Lee Hill checking in at the back of the class. No spitballs. And I'm going to get started over here. We got Barbarians at the gate. Now, Victor, I saw you get in the car earlier today, and you went somewhere. I don't know where. Are you even home right now? I bet you he's on the road. Okay. And they're starting to come in. We'll give people another minute. How's everybody hanging out? How you doing? Have you got coins? Today we're going to talk about how to collect. It's a coin class, and I started up, first couple episodes with, some interesting things, but I want to get down to the basics of how we collect, why we collect, and how to keep a track of what it is we collect. We can expect lag. I was thinking about taking everything over to my brother's house, but let's face it, I'd have to pack half this stuff. I got stuff lined up from here to there. And I thought to start off with this this funky thing I found in a live stream just the other day. I got a 1946 S. That's a Lincoln, and he's pretty busted up. But we got that big fat 9 in there. I'd never seen such a thing. And well, what would cause that? If you look at the coin, it has been smashed, gashed, slashed, run over by a truck. I mean, it's screwed up. Copper is a pretty malleable metal. And there's an S also smashed. But if you look at this thing up close in person, the 9 and the date, it's about this thick. I mean, you can not quite see it. It's thin. That's been hammered flat. That's just the way they work sometimes. I'm going to hold on to that. But I don't recommend buying or selling damaged coins, because all you do is promote people to go out and damage coins. Hit it with a hammer and sell it for $5. No, you're going to screw up a lot of coins that way. But I thought I'd put it here because, well, it's just one of those neat things. Looking over here, Crazy Maters Bailey has joined us. Ezekiel Rodriguez, good to see you. They call me Boogie. Good to meet you. He's new. Flea Market Coin Hunter sent you. Outstanding. That's Victor Cruz. You want to get over and check his channel. Now I've got a video directory. Let me see if I can load that real quick. I got another spreadsheet to show you guys. Some of you have seen it already. This only takes about a week to load because, I'm out here in the woods. Randy G. Ken, how are you? Looking forward to get my scale in the mail. I've got it right here, or it's been sent out. I filled up the mailbox. Filled it, but I've got to get to town and drop more off. I got a couple more I still have to pack. But yes, I have it. It's paid for. It's got a sticker on it. It's all taped up and ready to go out. I had about 40 different packages this week. Monday was a big day. Friday and Saturday are usually big days. Everybody gets paid on the weekends. Okay, I think we can get going. I'm going to give you this. Where is it? Okay, it's not loaded yet. I've got a couple of links in the description of this channel, including one to, a video. No, I don't have the video in there. I've got the coin inventory and checklist. I'll get that to you in a moment. Put it right up in chat. This one, I'm going to have to start over. Oh, why doesn't it load? This thing is so slow. Out here in the woods, everything is slow. Takes me a week to cook dinner. Lost a lot of weight since I moved out here. Okay, I'm going to give you the link here. if I can ever get it good. There we go. I'll put it down. Nope, that's the wrong thing. I'll put this down here in chat. There you go. This is the link to the video directory. You can find just everybody's channel. Victor's in there. He's a big supporter of the group. There's Beth Coddington. I want to give her a special shout out. She sent some PayPal donations to help support the channel, and what I'm doing with that is expanding the giveaways. Now we're going to have a test at the end, so pay attention. I mean that. And today we have this thing. It is the Comprehensive Catalog and Encyclopedia of U.S. Coins. Let me see if you see what I see. There we go. You'll see it just right below here in a photo, and you know it's like 500 pages. All kinds of information on all the U.S. coins. It's an encyclopedia. There's some prices in here, but don't pay those any heed. Just go for the information. It'll tell you about the series. Gets into the history of the coinage. It's a good book. Read the whole thing. When you're done, give it to somebody else. And we'll keep it spread. Oh, sign it if you like. Okay, we're giving away with that a loop. Now this is a 10x loop. I can show you mine. There you go. The same as that. It's a standard piece. Works great. Triplet lenses. It's handy. Now you can find it. Read about it. And because Beth Coddington supported us, I'm going to throw in a couple of dozen flips so you have a way to store it. Real handy. Oh, and cotton gloves, because darn it, wear your gloves. If you can't get these to fit, and these won't fit, cut the fingers off and do this. That's really handy. Keeps your hands free. You're not penned up. I like to be free. But when you handle the pennies or coins or whatever you're handling, the oils on your fingers, you won't see it immediately. But many years down the road, when you grab your coin that way, you're going to open it up and take a look, several years from now, and there's going to be a fingerprint on it. And what's happening is a chemical reaction with the organic compounds in your skin oils. It's going to react with the copper. It's going to change the color of the silver. If you're handling BU coins or somebody else's or expensive coins, get some protection. Now, for like this one right here, the 1946S, that baby's been around the block 100 times. I got no problem holding that up. But for the good ones, get some gloves. So we got the gloves, we got a loop, we got the book, and we get a couple of dozen flips. That'll be a nice treat for us. Oh, and we'll probably throw in some coins. The homework for whoever wins this is to figure out what it is I sent you, because I'm not going to tell you. Be some neat things in there, maybe some things you don't have. Let me catch up on chat real quick. Oh, like I can see anything. John Salisbury's joined the group. Good to see you. Lee Hill, I left my straw at home. Go get it. Ken, how are you doing? Says Randy. Looking forward to get my scale. I've been here. Let me move up. Class is in session. Okay, there's the link to that spreadsheet, which is the Coin and Video blog directory. If you'd like to donate or purchase items, no, don't send funds to PayPal if you wish to purchase items. If you want to donate, that'd be great. We'll give away more stuff. But if you wish to purchase something, contact me over here on this email address. A donation doesn't give me your shipping address, so go through here. That's a better way to do it. But donations, yeah, we'll give away. We'll give away 2 books as they start coming in. And don't forget to leave a like, or you won't remember. Okay, let's get going. Yeah, we got a dozen people in here. I say we can get into full steam. Okay, we're talking about how to collect coins, and I want to see if I can see what you're seeing. There we go. How to collect coins. There's all kinds of different ways. What do you want to collect has a big deal to do with it. Some people collect, old pennies. I got no problem with that. I'm a big copperhead. Most of what I have behind me here, if you can, let me feel that light. Most of the stuff on this table, which is now, I think, 6 layers deep in places, is copper. There's pennies, half pennies, 2 cents, 3 cents. I got a few nickels, but not too many. Got a lot of quarters for some reason. Uh, Not hardly any silver. I get this guy that comes down every couple of months and takes every single piece, and he keeps pressing me. You got any more in there? You got like some of those dimes? No, I'm saving that. But I like to have one of everything. And oh man, he got my Morgans. Okay. Now a lot of people they like to have one of everything. They'll have a wheat penny like this guy right here. And let me pull up some more. We'll get some looks. All right, this camera is set up for broad, and I want to get. Oh, there it goes. Everything is under control as of right now. Yeah, I gotta tighten this up a little, and then we can see this bright orange spot. Okay, the wheat pennies. These are probably the most collected coins in the world. Partly because, well, they're inexpensive. They cost a penny. And next because, well, they made so darn many of them. You'll find these in every country of the world. You got Lincoln on the front. Anybody who hasn't seen these probably lives under a rock or, carries a spear in a bush of the outback or something. Uh, this is the most popular coin of all time. Most made. There's some British issues that get close, but really they don't hold a candle. Now, when I first started collecting, I went after the wheats, and that was real neat. Then I found this one penny, had an Indian on it. I'd never heard of such a thing. Now, this one came out of this came out of a roll. Go to the bank, you get a bunch of rolls, you go through them. I found this. I'm talking to Brian Berry a couple of hours ago. He found I think it was a 1905 or 1906, got in a Coinstar. This guy is pulling all kinds of crazy stuff out of Coinstars. But I'd never heard of an Indian cent before. Never. Now, my grandmother, I was in her bingo jar. I pulled it out. So it was 1906. She says, oh, yeah, when I was your age, that's what they looked like. Well, this is 1977. I was 10 years old. So in 1906, she was 10 years old, and that's what they looked like. Never heard tell of it. But you got to figure, well, they had to have something before the Lincoln. And, of course, you have the Indian. Before the Indian, you had the big bird. I always thought that looked a bit like a buzzard. They're not really attractive a coin. The eagle looks like he's angry. But it's an interesting penny nonetheless. Before this, they get large. I mean, like the size of a $50. And I don't have any right now. I keep selling the darn things. I like the small cents. They work for me. And besides which, the scope doesn't have enough, focus to look at much bigger. But these old guys, yeah, get one. They're slick as heck. This one was pretty inexpensive, but, well, the back is kind of screwed up. But it's got some decent detail, on the devices. I got the leaves. And there's, 4 or 5 different leaves in there. You got cotton, corn, I forget what else, wheat. I'll have to look. Let's see. At the top is tobacco, I think. Okay, wheat is the little pointy things up going this way. Tobacco, cotton, corn, wheat, and I think there might be one other. But it's the main agricultural products of its day back in the 1850s. Well, why not? We'll put them right here because agriculture was pretty darn important back in the 1850s. Okay, you can get into other sizes of coin, by sizes, other denominations. Let's see. There's 1 cent. Here's a ½ cent. These get back, into the 1840s, 1820s, 30s. Go way back. I mean, in the early days, yeah, a penny was a lot of money. Buy a loaf of bread at the store. It'll place a long-distance phone call. This one is 1807, and that's one of the draped bust beauties. That's real slick. You get into 1 cent, 2 cents. Here's a 2 cents. Not many people collect these, and really, I think it's a darn shame because the population is quite low on these. They're terrifically undervalued. You can pick these up, and you're talking mintages on some of these dates as you get into 1860s, towards the 1870s, of 2,500 surviving specimens, and you pick them up for 20 bucks, something like this. And it's a great piece of American history. Let me show you the back. 2 cents. You don't get these too often anymore. Looks like a little scratch on that one, I guess. I don't know. I got a bunch of them on the desk. We'll go from there. You can get into foreign coins. Here's a large cent. Let me put a wheat on top of that. Give you a piece of scale. There you go. The wheat is the shine of the wheat. Let me try a dark wheat. This one. Okay, and I don't want to scratch it up much. There we go. That doesn't blind it out. The wheat penny's on top, and the Canadian penny is underneath. And the American large cents are even bigger than this Canadian large cent. But Canada's a really neat spot. We've got all their coinage right next door, and there just aren't that many collectors. What's really neat is, as you go back in time, there weren't a whole lot of people in Canada. You know, around 1896, there's probably 4 million of these were produced. You can get rare coins at very affordable prices and oftentimes in really decent shape. Canada's a great place to go. A lot of people collect a British coinage, German. Russians got some real interesting coins. Yeah, this is a good one. This one comes in at, I'll have to look here. Let me put her upside down. Yeah, this all comes down to the shape of the crown jewels. And these are just magnificent. This probably is an X after AU. Looks like it was a fingerprint on the front of her neck. This old Queen Victoria, Vicky herself. And of course, as you go back in time, you get different monarchs. Now, British coinage, same thing. You're going to have Queen Victoria. Here she is again. Isn't she lovely? Good old Vic. And again, it comes down to the quality of the jewels on that crown. It's really what gets people into the big dollars. This one is a farthing. We've got half cents. In Great Britain, they had farthings, which is a fourth of a cent. A fourthing, farthing. And you got this girl right here, Britannia. This poor girl's been in a wheelchair for 200 years. Gosh, somebody help her out. But great detail on these. And all your British Empire stuff are going to have similar designs. Okay, we got, what the heck is this? Oh, this is a 10 cash. There's some neat stuff out there. I cannot see this. Give me a toothpick. Yeah, this is why I don't like the flips. You can't take pictures through these flips. Here's a neat one, and I had to do a little research to find out what is it. Okay. This is East India Company. Remember that? They go after Jack Sparrow and all them. Of course, it's a trading company, and they pretty much dominated the high seas back in the 1800s, 1700s. And this is what's called a 10 cash from 1808. This one and many more went down on a ship, like in 1810. And a lot of them came out of the water, and this is, I believe, one of them. That doesn't add any value. Actually, it's kind of screwed up here and there. It's got some damage on it. I have no idea what that means. I think it means go back to work. And this is what they used to pay their the hired help over in India when it was a British realm. Every country has coins that goes back. They go back for centuries. It may be a different country, as history progresses and changes countries. But don't give up on them. They're interesting. They can be difficult to identify, but there's plenty of resources for that. If you have a question about coins that I can't answer here, go into the Coin Op Facebook group. There's plenty of people there that can help out. It doesn't mean you'll always get an answer, but at least you have a chance. Let me find out what else we had here that I might have missed. I can't see a thing. Oh, there we go. I'm going to keep this in its pocket. 1 cent, 2 cents, and then you start getting into the non-coppers. Okay, by non-copper, this is nickel. This is a 3-cent nickel from 1865. Outstanding shape on this. We've had half cents, 1 cent, 2 cents, 3 cents. Silver and nickel, we have had 5, 10, 20 cents, but only for a couple of years. That really didn't take. Then, of course, your quarters, half dollars, dollars. Then you get into the gold, 1, 2.5, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 50, and 100. And then you get bullion. So what do you like to collect? Weird stuff, odd stuff? This is one of those oddities. They made these for about 15, 18 years. It doesn't say what the denomination is, just says 3. That's okay with me. They traded quite well. Right after the Civil War and during the Civil War, coinage was in short supply, so they needed to crank these out. But after the Civil War, things improved and they really slid down on the production, and they became quite rare after that. I'm going to stick this back in here so I don't lose it. This one doesn't belong to me. Okay. After the Lincoln cents, the next most collected item in the world is the Jefferson nickel. Well, he's a good guy, Jefferson. I got no problem with his policies. He really spoke for the common man, independence, freedom, justice, all that. But he really isn't that great looking on a nickel. That's okay. You can think whatever you like of the design. I mean, the Indian's quite an impressive design. I like those. The Walking Liberties, they're fantastic. But the nickel's kind of dull. Well, what the heck. This particular one is silver. They started making them in nickel because silver was getting kind of pricey back when they had the half dime and they switched over to the shield nickel. That was, again, right during the Civil War times. But nickels, you can still find them in circulation back into the 30s. You can still find buffalo nickels in circulation. Every now and then people pull out a V nickel because they're still the same size. The Flying Eagle cents, they're just a little bit heavier and a little bit thicker than our current pennies, and they don't tend to make it into rolls. But the nickels, they're consistent all the way back to the shields. Not many shields in circulation, but people are dying all the time, and their offspring don't know what they have and send it back to the bank. This one came out of a circulated roll on Justin Couch's TV show. Oh, good, I want it. That's pretty neat. But there's nothing wrong with the nickels anyway. They're good, solid, stout, heavy coins. They're a single alloy, so you will get lamination errors. You will get woody grains, and there's plenty of them. You can find them in your pocket change. Let me see what I have. Hi, Ken. Do you have a website that I can check out to see what you're selling? Yes. I'll have to get that link for you. And that's Weingold Metal Detecting Adventures. Asking about a blog. I have a blog, but mind you, the sales part of that is really in disrepair. A lot of stuff has been sold, but a lot more stuff has been added. It's a continuous state of flux on there. And I've got to add some supplies because I have, a bunch of stuff that came in. Now, coin and card hobbyist, how you doing today? This is Robert. I think he has some stuff listed on his blog, 1 Million Pennies Project. God love you. Okay. Now, I never knew what was going on before the Indian cent. Now, I had no idea what was going on before the Jefferson nickel either. Before that, we have the Buffalo nickels. And again, one of the most popular coins of all time. It's just a manly-looking coin, I think. You got this big creature on the back, handsome Indian on the front. He's not crying because they didn't have so much pollution back then. And geez, I mean, come on. Who else in the world will have a buffalo on their coin? These are hard to hold on when you have nephews. Can I have that buffalo? Sure, take it. Here you go. The mow the yard. And this one is a 1931 S. It's a pretty good date. I snatched that baby up. Before those, you have the V nickels. So if you're type collecting, you get one of everything. Okay? Now, V is for victory. No, that's later. V is for 5. 5 cents. There you go. Before they had the cents, it was without the cents, and it was just a V. They had to add the cents because people were taking, some gold and plating the darn things, just a tiny bit of gold, and taking them to the store, buy a loaf of bread with a nickel, and get changed back for $5. It's called a racketeer nickel. Lots of history on these things. Cheryl Busman has shown up. Well, it's about time. You're going to get detention. You know that. Hi, Ken. Sorry I'm late. That's okay. We'll make it up to you. Now, before this, I had shield nickels. Before the shields, that were, let's see. Oh, the half dimes. And that gets into the silver. And I don't have any shields. And I really don't have much silver either. But I do have a few things I secreted away. If you want to get into the types, I mean, they keep going and going and going. This is a Franklin half dollar. That's before the Kennedy half dollar. Before that are the Walkers. I showed one last week, I guess. You got your dollars, your Ikes, Susan B. Anthony's, Sacagaweas, the Morgans, the Pieces. And then you get into the seated and Barber, everything. Barber had everything. He just designed one thing and they ran on everything but the pennies, it seems. Now, early in the last century, they started coming out with commemoratives. They started with an Isabella quarter, and it was a commemorative coin. It's a special issue. They only ran it for a couple of years, and made not too many of them, and it was a special thing. They started doing different subjects, getting into, let's see, this is 46, I believe. Yes, this is the 1946. They got into the Pilgrims, Lexington and Concord, Ulysses Grant, all sorts of historical significance on these commemorative coins. That's why they commemorate it. And this one's in really good shape. But you'll have designs that were not on any other coins. The letters are big and thick and fancy and gaudy and handsome. They were well polished dies. Now, you do have problems on them. No, some of these have die chips. You'll find lathe lines on others. There's a Pilgrim half with a giant crack in it. Real interesting. There's lots of history. Check them out. This one's an S, 1946 S. I made these for a few years. But if you want to just collect commemorative halves, you'll have a handsome collection just with these. But they can get pricey, let me tell you. Good Lord, they can make some of you get very pricey when you start getting the slabs. Instead of an MS-63 Franklin, you got, an MS-66 Grant with a star. You're talking thousands of dollars. Shout out to the shout out. Today's shout out is for Beth Coddington for supporting the channel. In the description down below, you'll see her link, and also in the Coin and Video blog link, which I can't paste. I just copied something else. You'll find her. I gave her a green color for the week. And that's a Booker T. Washington half. Yes, it is. 1946S. So you can collect, all of them, the P, the D, the S, and for each year. And they go on and on. Now, there are other things to collect. You can get into metals, exonumia. Here you go. That's nothing really coin-like. It's just a bunch of dimes in lucite. It's not for spending. It's just for looking through. Exonumia. Now, in the United States, we have a lot of tokens, a lot of medallions. People collect, medals, the war medals. The guys got them on their chest, the silver stars, the bronze stars, purple hearts, all that stuff. We've made medals to commemorate different events. They're not coins, they're medals. And this is stuck, so I'll leave it right there. Back in, the 70s, I had this big, I can't zoom out enough to show that. Okay. Back in the early 70s, I started promoting the American Bicentennial. Okay, 200 years. Hey, we're having a great time. It was a party every day in the Capitol, right? So we have several coins that came out. This is a Sam. I got to check that. John. Sam was the guy who made the beer. This is John Adams, the guy who made the HBO special. And there are 4 in this series. Sam Adams, Patrick Henry, John Jefferson. Some of them are in the holders. Some are on envelopes that are postmarked July 6th, if we can see that postmark. There we go, and there's a Jefferson. And they're kind of slick. They're $5 to $10 a piece, depending on the shape that they're in. By all means, if that's the kind of thing you like, grab them up. There are all kinds of bicentennial coins out there, private mints, have made lots of them. Get in there and check it out. Klesh is saying, I have a 1862 silver Trime I want graded. It's really nice, but I don't have a membership to PCGS. What should I do? You can find other people who specialize in grading who can send it into PCGS. They will charge you a fee, but it's better than coming out of pocket for the annual fee plus paying for the coin. You're just going to pay for the coin, the shipping, and probably $10 to the guy who's sending it in for you. Search around for local dealers. You can get online and find there's all kinds of folks out there that will send that in there for you. But you do take a risk if you're dealing with somebody you don't know. Check with your local coin shop, somebody who you can find, so you can beat the snot out of them. Hi, Coin. Is that your channel name at Flea Market Coin Hunters? That's his name. He shops around at flea markets and makes videos. His name is Victor Cruz. Go check him out. There we go. Now, there's medals, there's tokens. Back during the Civil War, coinage was really tight. A lot of merchants produced their own coins. Let me get these set aside. If you wanted to, run a militia, you have a big store. A lot of people. You make coins and sell these off to raise funds to sponsor your own militia, and then you're a general. We'll make you a general if you form a brigade. And a lot of people did that, and what do you know? They got shot in the head for the troubles. But that's okay. Now the Mint put out special issues. And they've been doing this for quite a while. This one is a Mint set, where you have one coin of each denomination that was produced that year. Now a typical Mint set is going to have several coins because you get them from all the mints. So here we are. This is that's going to be Denver. Okay, and you have an SBA dollar in there, the half, couple of SBAs. I don't know what's in here. I don't think I've ever opened it before. But you got the P, the D, the S. Oh, that's a nickel. Well, she does look a lot like Jefferson, doesn't she? Okay, let me drop this in here. And you can effectively collect every coin that way. But over the years, you'll see the designs change. This year they have the SBA dollar. The year before they had the Eisenhower. A few years before that they didn't have any dollar. By 1987 there's no dollar in there. Let me pull that one out. And the packages change. Look how much nicer that is. And again, it's P, D, and S. And, well, we've had the longest running coins for a long time now. That's a great thing. Now we're going to put one of these Mint sets in the winner's package today because Beth Coddington took care of that. Now you get into proof sets. Okay, let me pull up an early one. Back in the day, they were in the cellophane, much like the Mint sets. When the Mint started making proofs again in 1968, they went into packages where the coins are actually encased, and these are handsome. They're presentable. You can set them up and show them off. I've got a couple over here on the shelf. Here you've got the Eisenhower in there. These early proof sets, if you can get them with cameo devices, this one has it's where the head is white, and you got something that's going to sell a little better, or just be more attractive, which is probably why they sell a little bit better. And over the years, they changed the packaging, they changed the box, the design, but the coins are always specially made coins. What's this one? Here we go. Here's a 1995, for example. And we got no dollar in there. And the package is different. And now it's just a simple slab without this display holder. And you can see of course, the cameo devices on those. They're good looking coins. These are a commodity item more than anything else. Some years they made too darn many and the prices are affordable, and other years they didn't make enough and they're premium. I've got a red box. I'm great, bro. And it scrolled up. Let me see what that was. Victor, he's talking with somebody, just relaxing, nice day out. I saw the famous Ken Peavy on and thought I would come listen to the class. And I can't get this back in the box. Here we are. Now, in 1999, they started producing the proof sets with all the state quarters. Well, they put out 5 and 6 of these a year, depending on the year. So instead of the 1 slab, you have 2. Now you've got 1 for the regular coins and 1 for the quarters. There they are. And we'll give that a good look. But if you look at how many quarters there are, there's 50 quarters for the states. They come in P, D, Philadelphia, Denver. You got the proof. You got the silver proof. Then you get the satins. They got, since 2012, uncirculated S. And now we've got the enhanced uncirculated sets. Man, they've been making quarters like hotcakes for a while. Ravenhawk says, Ken, it should be a really big channel. His knowledge is amazing. I just make this stuff up, really. So hit the like and tell a friend. Thank you very much. Oh, and then we have these silver proof sets. Now they look very similar to the regular proof sets, but there is a bit of color difference. They're more blast white. And it's difficult to see with this camera, the limitations here. But the idea is the same. Put each coin in. The penny and the nickel, they're the same, but the rest are 90% silver. So we'll make a silver coins again. That's great. We're kind of on the silver standard. And you can find these in circulation. People are finding, on occasion, silver proofs in circulation. Let me get this up here. And get that out of the way, because I'm just going to knock this over. Now, you can collect the types, one of everything. You can specialize in mint sets or proof sets, or medals or tokens or whatever you like. But a lot of people go into series collection, where they collect one of every coin. So you have these albums that have been produced. And I've got some that are full somewhere. Oh, I'll just take this one, where you can collect every date, every mint mark. In 1982, they made pennies in Philadelphia. They made them in Denver. Sometimes they made them with different designs. So you've got a large dates and small dates. You got, S mints. You got the proofs. You got uncirculated. You got satins, and you collect one of every single coin out there. And the number of coins you need just to complete a set can be immense. In Lincoln's, it's hundreds. In the quarters, it's hundreds of hundreds. Well, several hundred anyway. There's different albums you put together so you can see the coins better. But these can go back to, 1909, 1909S, SVDB. What's the next one? Oh, 1909 VDB, 10, 10S, 11 DNS, and every darn one of them. And when you complete a set like this, it's quite an impressive thing. Now you can go just for the dates, or you can, go back and start to make them better. So you get rid of the, the old junky one, and you get a nice shine. Oh, if I can see this, and you improve the quality and put in shiners, nice, brilliant, uncirculated. And now it gets interesting because the value of that set starts to grow tremendously. I mean, if you have a set of Lincolns and everything is good, it'll be $1,000. You get into, a set of Lincolns and everything's fine, you're talking $2,000 to $2,500. This is a pretty hefty set right there. And there are, of course, the slab coins, and you can go to PCGS and NGC, and you can register your collection. Just all the coins that are slabbed by PCGS and NGC, and you get points for, BF in this date or XF in that date, and you can rank your collection against other people who are out there. Flea Market says, if you'd like to purchase any item on the live stream, please email Ken at kenpv@live.com. That's me. And the email address is right up there. And for more, I can't read this. Also, thanks. Victor's plugging me. He's a plug-in madman. God love him. Okay. So what do you want to collect is all up to you. And a lot of people, they just collect whatever comes across their path. You can go through coin rolls and get coins essentially for face value. Just hit the bank and pick out the ones you like. Do it again next week, and you'll get some that are better than what you picked out last week. So just swap them out and replace them. But some people, whatever it comes across, they're going to keep it. They're going to hold on to it. I've seen them stick them in coffee cans, stick them in an old cigar box. That works. And other people get into, setting up in the folders just like this. Now, at some point in your collection, you get into what do you have? What's it worth? What's all this stuff? And they start to get into, the digital aspect of it, or the record keeping. I'm going to switch over here and I'll show you this. So I put together a spreadsheet and somehow I've got to make this work. Oh, let me give you the link to that first. If I can figure out how to make this work. To link this document, there it is. Okay, we have the coin inventory and collector checklist. And I'm having a hard time making this work. So here's the link. God, I hope it works. It might not. Okay, so I'm going to switch over and go to the desktop view, I think. There we go. That should be the desktop, which, shows you what I'm looking at. And we have the coin inventory checklist. Now, the first page is just, gibberish. Don't worry about that. Second page is inventory. Now, here's neat. You can list everything you have. And I've got it set up right now so you can add totals, or it'll automatically add totals all the way down to the bottom of the sheet. But you can select, if you can see what I'm doing here, the country, I've got the USA. Or I can have Canada for another coin. Okay, denomination, I've got a nickel, 5 cents. And it's a series, it's a shield nickel. Okay, the date, I can add this in, it's an 1866. Description, let's see, description is a big scratch. If I can spell right. Well, anyway, there it is. Then you can have your grade if you're able to grade it. And I need to do a class just on grading the coins because that's a pretty particular aspect we'll need to cover. And if you're going to do the spreadsheet, you'll need that anyway. But let's say it comes in at VG and you paid $5 for it and it's worth, you figure it's worth $10 because you got a good deal. And what that's going to do, if you look up to line 3, line 4, anytime I enter a number into the spreadsheet, it'll automatically update. And I can go back, of course, later on and change it. I did that. Oh, count. I've got one of them. And I paid 5 and it's worth 10. There. That should update. I don't think it updated. Let me check that again. I'll make it $0. And we started getting people. Yeah, that works. Okay, back to 10. Yep, that works. And then you can add notes. Now this really needs to be a class all by itself because I could spend hours showing you how to work a spreadsheet. If you have an idea how to do it, well, here's a template. You can just copy and paste it. You can print it up and fill it up by hand if you like. Well, whatever you want to do. But getting into the rest of these pages, if you look at the bottom, I wonder if you can see the bottom. Let me have a look here real quick. Can you see the bottom? Yes, down here you've got the tabs, and I'm on the link and sent tab right now. Let me pull it up. Okay, I've got a check mark on the left side. You can print this up at your pleasure. Poke holes in it with paper punch. Stick it in an envelope. Stick it in a notepad. Stick it in a 3-ring binder so you can keep track of your collection. I've added columns so you can mark the grade, what you paid, what it's worth. Add some notes. And it lists every year and every variety. Well, not the die varieties. We're not talking double dies. We're not talking, RPMs. We're talking it's got a VDB or it's a proof coin. But going through this, you've got there's a whole lot of them. Early on, you had the map proofs. Here's a 1922 with no min mark. Getting later on, 1936, they started making proofs again. They started making first with satin. And then they switched over to the brilliant finish. But as you go on, of course, you get into the small dates and large dates of the 60s, 70s, different proofs. Then you hit the 82s, and you find one, you check it off. Uh, Maybe you don't know what the large date versus small date is. Just set it aside. You can figure that out. This whole collecting thing is about accumulation. You accumulate coins, you accumulate tools. You know, you don't have a loop. Well, one day you'll have one. You accumulate supplies, and you accumulate knowledge. And it's the knowledge that really makes this thing powerful. Uh, you can determine if it's a small date or a large date. And you can teach other people what it is. Uh, but this goes on and on and on. I mean, there's all kinds of the darn things. Now, getting into Jefferson's is the next tab over. Again, same thing. Check it off, fill it out. I haven't had mintage figures, which I intend to do, but boy, it's a lot of work, and I'll get there. It's not a problem. These things aren't going anywhere. And I showed you the link. Roosevelt dimes, they started in 1946. If I add something in here, I'll go to the 1946 page. I paid $2. It's worth $2.15, and there it is. And those will update over here as I type it in, up in the total columns at the top. Now I can add more items to it. If you know how to use spreadsheets, you can add them to your, you copy this thing as best you can. If you can't copy it, let me know. We'll find a way to copy it. But you can print it off yourself. You can create your own spreadsheets and track whatever you like. If you want Canadian pennies, go ahead and list them. These are pretty simple to use, and for the most part, the formulas to add them up, add the columns, they're very simple to put together. It's a formula. You type a sentence. Let me see if I can, let me create a page. Down here at the bottom, I add a sheet. Here we go. Now I'm going to tag this A, B, C. Okay. Now I'm going to come down to the next line. A is 2 and B is 5. Now I want to type a sentence, right? Now just above here, we've got this FX. It's a function box. Whatever I type there, that's what matters to D6. Okay, but I can type it right in the box, which is neat. And I want D6, it's selected. I want that to be equal, and I've got an equal. I want it to be equal to A, so I click A, plus, I type plus, and then click B, and then I hit enter. So C equals A plus B, and I've got a formula. Pretty nifty. So if I want to total a column, I can total each and every single one of them, A plus B plus C plus D, all the way down. But there are some other commands you can put in and just use a sum, and sum from A1 to K1. There's a lot to it. If you've seen my spreadsheet, it's several heavy pages long, and it goes down for thousands of lines. But they're all added up, and it's all accurate. I've got different sections where I can include, just the coins that are in this folder, and get the value for the coins in that folder, all by itself. And then what are all my folders worth together? And it's a lot of I'm working on it. There's plenty to do here. Let me get back to chat. Great spreadsheet. Just check out the link. Yeah, and we'll develop that over time. I'll add more series as I find a few minutes, just type stuff into it. That would be a great show. Yeah, just how to use a spreadsheet all by itself is a pretty powerful thing. If you can use a spreadsheet, yeah, take it to work and use it there. The boss will love you. I'll go back to it for a bit. I mean, you can do, instead of, I'll do 5, 7, and I'm going to have C equals, right, 5 plus the 7. No, I'm going to get it to the right. There it is. And the color of the highlight will tell you where you are and what it's going to be. So D8 equals B8 times C8. And it doesn't matter what the values are. This is going to do the math for you. And I think I did an add. So I can go back up here and change that from plus and use the star. And now it's multiplication, 35. Let's say instead of 5 in column A, I changed to 6, Or better yet, I'll change it to 10. And the column C is going to, do the math by itself. So there's 10, and watch, let's see, D8 will automatically adjust. Now it's 70. Okay, it's powerful. You can do a lot of simple arithmetic just by setting up the grid, set up the matrix. And after that, it's data entry, and it all updates, and you print it out and send it to whoever it needs to be. I count bricks with these things, and I mean lots and lots of bricks. I kind of work for an industrial contractor. We get a lot of material going to some places, and every ring has so many parts, so I list each ring in order, how many of this, how many of that goes into each ring, and just add it up. And it's pretty darn accurate. Then I add in, some constants for, waste percentages and what I need for cuts and so forth. And I can get a really good idea of what kind of stock I need to operate that job. So what you can learn just doing your hobby, coin collecting, you get into spreadsheets and they're real handy, but then you can apply that to other areas of your life. So it's personal development is what you're getting into here. You can take this a long ways. Knowledge is key. Data is power. Yes, it is, Ravenhawk. Information, this is an information world, and if you can, get to your spreadsheet and find out, a guy calls up, says, hey, I need a 22D. Have you got any? I pull up my spreadsheet. I say, yep, I've got 14 of them. What do you want? He says, well, I want one in fine. I look at my spreadsheet, and I know that my fine is right here in, this particular book. I pull it out. I take a picture. I send him a picture. He sends me a check. You keep record of what you have for a coin, what you paid, what it's worth, where it is, any notes that are particular to it. You can search the database, because that's what the spreadsheet is. It's a database that does math. You can search it and find things in particular. They're powerful tools. I recommend you get in there and just play with it. You can go to Google Docs. Just go to Google and type in Docs, D-O-C-S, and it'll take you right in. Of course, you get, text documents you can play with. But get into the spreadsheets and play with them, see how that works. And Kevin Pack has joined us. How are you, Kevin? Good to see you. You might need to replay this whole thing, because we're kind of winding down right now. Okay, now here's the homework. Ready? Let me get the link to the coin inventory. It's over here in the home. Okay, here's the link. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste that in the chat, if I can find the chat. Okay, here is the test. If you want to get the gloves, we have a 1980 uncirculated mint set, a loop, a couple of dozen flips, and the book. Okay, using that spreadsheet, you've got to go in there, and I'll wait for some people to get in there because I didn't post a link. There's the link. All right. You can open it. Well, I'm hoping you can open it in a new window. If you can't, well, you'll have to work. You are required to have a PC for this class. But I'll do one for the Android people later. Now, next week we'll do one that the Android people can win easily. Okay, using that link, you go to the spreadsheet and you can look at all the different coins, what's listed in there. How many, if you had a full set of Lincoln cents, how many different Lincoln cents would you have? Answer that question. First person to get it, I'm going to send them all this stuff here. Plus, some coins. Now, it'll be about a week before people start to respond to that. But how many different Lincoln cents are listed in that spreadsheet? Oh, I didn't know that was Google Docs. So yes, I got all kinds of good stuff in there. Sorry, it looks just like Excel. It works the same, and a lot of the spreadsheets are convertible. I'll get a link up to Office, Open Office. That's what I use for a spreadsheet on my desktop rather than Google Docs. Kevin Pack's off to work. Good luck. Stay safe. Now I'm going to come back over to this. With 4 people looking, if I had a full set of Lincoln cents, every different one they had, how many would I have? And put your question in here. On the left side, Ravenhawk, Shay Hoffmaster says 381. Keep trying. Is that all mintages or just years? Each year is going to have its own mintage. I haven't added those columns in yet. I want to make sure, especially when they have the proofs, that the proofs are, listed separately and not included in the total for the year. A lot of those proofs are pretty darn rare. Now, getting into that spreadsheet, how many different Lincoln cents are there? Victor says 90. I'm going to give you a hint. It's more than 90, and it's not quite 2017, Mudspot. From 1909 to 2000, a full set of Lincolns. How many different Lincolns are there? Shay's close. He's got the idea. He's in the right neighborhood. I think he's figuring it out. See, the whole idea is to get you to look at that spreadsheet and find out. Shay's got it. I'm going to say Shay has won it. He's got row count -7 because the top 7 lines, that's the total, and the other stuff. I thought it was 373. You went with 380, was it? Let me come back up here. 381. Okay, I'm going to go over the inventory list. I'm going to go to Lincoln cents. Okay, the last Lincoln cent is that 2017 S, enhanced uncirculated, and that's line number 388. Okay, and I know the first 7 don't exist, so there should be 381. But somehow my math came up to 373. I was using that new math. Shay Hoffmaster is correct. Okay, another thing you can do is just click on the A and come down here and look in the bottom corner. It says count is 381, and there's 7 missing, so that must be how I came up with it. 381. Well, Shay wins, and that says 388. Oh, I'm sure there's some shit missing. Well, anyway, Shay Hoffmaster has won. So, Shay, here's what you got to do, right? You got to come up and look above my head here. And if I can see that, it should be somewhere. Let's go back to the home scene. Okay, right above my head here, you got an email address. You need to send me your shipping address. Hopefully you're not in Canada, because this stuff's going to be heavy. And we got a pair of gloves, just like that. And I'll put those in a Ziploc bag. We have a 10x loop. Now, this is important. This says 30x, but it's not 30x. It's only 10x. This is misprinted. Still a good loop. I tried them out, and that's why I said, these aren't 30x. This is bullshit. And I called them up and said some things I shouldn't have said about their mother. But no matter. The loops are good quality. I've got a couple of dozen of these. 1980 mid-set. There's nothing wrong with this. It's a little bit dog-eared right here in the corner, but that's the worst of it. But I don't really collect mid-sets, and I just have them sitting around, so let's pass those out. And we have this big heavy tome, which you can use to, swat flies, or you can read it. I recommend keep it around for a while. And when you're done, give it to somebody so they can learn. Okay? And I got some coins. Your homework assignment will be to figure out what the coins are that I'm sending. Okay? Because I'm not going to tell you. You must grow. And we'll go from there. Now I'm going to get back to chat if I can figure out how to... Is that it? Maybe. Oh, here it is. Loop will be my pocket loop. You got on these loops, up on the one side, I got to get some of these. You got a little hook right in the top where you can hook a lanyard to it so you can drape it around your neck. They're about $1. I got to pick some up and get them out because they'd be pretty handy. You go to a coin show, you got your loop hanging right there like those guys that walk around the coin show, look like professionals. They pick it up and go looking at it. So congratulations, Shay. Well done. I'll have to do the math again because I was wrong. But you're in the book. You got to figure it out. Okay, Okay, Ravenhawk says, I forgot 1909 had extra mints. Yes, it did, plus the BDBs, plus the matte proofs. And all the proofs are listed separately in there. I don't know what all that is. The beauty of these streams. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. Look at the quarters on that spreadsheet. Am I still on the? What are we looking at? Oh, we're looking at that ugly penny. Check out the quarters on that spreadsheet. Good Lord, that took me forever to fix that. Screen and me. There we go. Once you start getting into 1999s, you got the standard P and D. You got the proof. You got the silver proof. And you have this for 5 different coins, right? You got the Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, Connecticut. All right, and this goes on okay for a few years. Then you get 2005, and the mint sets, they go to satin, right? So now I got to include all the satins. So for 2005, you got the California P satin, the D California, the D California satin, the S California proof, and the S California silver proof. And you have 5 coins. And this goes on for 6 years. Good Lord, the coins in here. It just keeps on building. Now, after 2010, mint sets went back to regular, so the satins disappeared. Phew, that's good. But then we start coming up with these in 2012, the uncirculated S mints. Anybody know about this? I didn't know about the proofs until a few years ago because I kind of got away from collecting for a while. All right, so now we got the uncirculated. Now in 2017 we got the enhanced uncirculated. Where's that one now? So now here we go. You got 2017 FRD. We'll scroll down a little more. It'll tell you what FRD is. That's gonna be Frederick Douglass. And let's see if I can highlight that. Yeah, 3 letters is the AGB, 2 letters is a state. So you get the 2017 Frederick Douglass. If I can come back here. You got him in, where is it? There you go. In Philadelphia. You got the Denver. You got the S uncirculated. You get the S enhanced uncirculated. Then you got the S proof. Then you got the silver proof. And you got 5 different quarters just for 2017 with all these different varieties. So now what are we at? We're at line number 700 on the quarters. That took me 3 days to put that one together. Good Lord. But I use it for other things. So now I add mintages, and that'll be just, don't hold your breath on that. We'll get there. Okay, loop will be in my pocket. And all the years, good question. But you have all these varieties people don't know about. There's a 1996 W Roosevelt dime. For the 50th anniversary of the Roosevelt dime, or Roosevelt's death, they made some dimes in West Point, which is not too far from Roosevelt's house, right up the Hudson River. Of course, Roosevelt's on the east side and West Point's on the west side. But I mean, you're only talking 10 miles apart, so that's kind of interesting. Just like Ravenhawk says, just like how the 2009 has a copper penny, most would miss that in a question. Yes, the 2009 cent in mint sets and proof sets only are 3.11 gram, 95% copper. But the business strikes for 2009, those are the regular old Zinkans that'll be, rotted away in 50 years. Okay, look, we're an hour into it, and I've got some things I got to do. I still have to pack some more packages and run to the post office and stuff for some pork chops, I suppose. So, folks, I'm going to leave you with that spreadsheet. Copy it, play with it, create your own. You should be able to copy it entirely, maybe page by page, and create your own spreadsheet on Google Docs. Just name it whatever you like, and we'll just go from there. Tweak it, play with it, ask questions, and we really do need to have an entire class just on how to change up these spreadsheets. Oh, and there's a chat feature on these spreadsheets. Let me see if we can do that. This is a chat, and I left out the T. So you can create these documents, and several people can coordinate on them, which is a really fascinating trick. Let me see. Are we in there? Yes. So if you're in the spreadsheet, right up beside the colored letters where it has the anonymous narwhal and the anonymous koala, anonymous crow, and the anonymous penguin, you have a little chat box. And, well, that'd be under my head the way this is set up. But you can chat to each other while you work together, to coordinate on a document. Kind of a neat thing. Anonymous penguin has left, but anonymous otter has just showed up. And if you, actually are a Google account holder and you have access to the to edit the document, yeah, that might be why you. I don't know if you can chat because you're not edited. I have this on read only, so you can change the permissions on these things. If you're working with other people, sometimes it's important so that they can edit it, but nobody can go in and just erase the whole darn thing. Crazy Maters, thank you for the class. You're welcome. We'll do it again next week. Ray Hepburn says, thanks, Ken. And we've been playing around late night when everybody else is gone. And I've been just rambling off, answering questions, see what, people are saying. Cheryl Busman says, this is all mind-boggling. Yes, that's why we're having a class. Remember, it's all about accumulation. You accumulate coins, supplies, of course, boxes, albums, folders, books, holders, tools, the gloves, the loupes, the microscopes. This thing right over here. Oh, it's probably in that picture right there. You name it. Here's another loupe with a light on it. Here's a can of tuna that I have little gloves in and little slips of paper that I use to put in those flips, right? And there's a paper cutter over there to take care of that. There's lots to it, and it's one of those things that's just going to stick with you. You can always collect coins. Coins are the most collected thing in the world. I know somebody who collects, just Coca-Cola paraphernalia. I know somebody who just collects Star Wars stuff. They got the lightsabers, and they got they got the Han Solo, where he's stuck in the wall. That's kind of I wouldn't mind having one of those for the refrigerator. Refrigerator door. Okay, coins. It's the hobby of kings because, well, only kings can afford some of this stuff. But a king has, he makes his own coinage. So, hey, give me a really nice one, each year. So I'm going to take the gloves. I'm going to stick them in this here plastic bag to make shipping a little better. We'll keep them clean. And look, it's like instant padding too, right? Squeeze the air out some. Ravenhawk says, do you think anyone will end up finding a business strike copper 2009? They were proof sets, and mint sets. Now the mint sets were satin, right? So they didn't have business strike dies in there. And same with the proof. They use proof dies or satin dies. And the coins they're not business strikes. You'd have to have the business strike dies. And on the planchets for the proofs, of course, they were polished. And on the mint sets, they were burnished. So finding a business strike copper 2009, that'd be impressive if you did that. But the planchets were in place, right? You still had the planchets in the mint. Did one of the planchets end up in the business strike production line? Or did they all go through the, the proper proof or satin lines? Oh, there's plenty to take in. You read about it, get the book, read about it. Hey, when Shay's done with this, you pester him and you get that book from him. Hey man, let me borrow that book. Get a book and pass it one person to the next. We'll start a little, pass it around group here. Lee Hill, I can teach you some tricks. I use spreadsheets all the time. Outstanding. Yeah, you start with the spreadsheets for the coins and learn about it. And once you figure out enough, the rest will come quickly. And then you can apply that spreadsheets to anything, right? I mean, I use them to plant a garden. I take them to work and I use it there. I've got a spreadsheet just for my personal expenses, which is really next to nothing now, which is beautiful. Look, I'd like to take a minute, and I've got some stuff that came in. Let's see, this is the market hour. Where are they? Ah, here they are. Okay, the flips finally came in. I have a need for many of them, but I have many flips left over. Now, these are the unplasticized flips. They're 2 inches square. They fit in pages. They fit in anything that a cardboard flip would fit in. That they're, you can reuse them instead of poking holes in them and they get the coin out so you can take a photo. These are available. I can do packs of 50 for $4, packs of 100 for $8. Now, on supplies, it gets into the shipping cost, gets into the weight of the packaging because, well, you get 300 of these, 600 of these. I'm going to weigh it up beforehand, which is why I have the email address up here. No, I don't. Let me go back to the home scene. So we got this email address up here. If you want some flips, let me know. Now I've got the boxes. Oh man, you're gonna love the boxes. Okay. If you don't want to make your own boxes out of a post office box, you can get the 2x2x9 coin boxes. There we go. Now these will fit the 2-inch flips. If I can get the light on that, they'll fit the 2-inch flips. You fold them over, they'll go right in. They'll fit the cardboard flips, right? It's made for that. It will not fit slab coins. Slab coins go in slab boxes, but it will fit the 2-inch acrylic holders, right? They're real nice, and you can put in your own little dividers. Have little tab sheets sticking up, and you can cover them up and take them off to coin shows, or just stick them up on a shelf. But I've got several of these. They're real handy because I can ship the flips in the box. So now you can get 100 flips. They fit in the box. They ship all together. The box is $2 more. Now, here we go. Really, the best way to ship these is 3 at a time in a priority mail. Now it's $7.50 for shipping, $10 for 100 flips plus the box, and it actually works out better than 100 flips for $8 plus shipping because effectively you get like $1.50 off plus the boxes plus it's there a couple of days early. So get a hold of me if you want to, if you want a bunch of these 300 flips, 3 boxes, priority mail, and we can increase that by going to the the flat rate envelope. Okay, now I've got folders in. I've got folder number 1 and folder number 2. Folder number 1 is from 1909 to 1940, and that's your PD&S. This is folder number 2 in front of me. Okay, where folder number 1 ends off, folder number 2 takes over. So folder number 2 goes 1941, PD&S, all the way through, switches over to memorials, and ends up in 1974. And there's a couple extra slots in here, and you got a paper tab at the end, so it's 3 pages. And if you're kind of new to collecting, these are really a good way to start. You can, put together that whole series. You can put the coins in. If you push on the back gently, not too hard to poke your finger through, you could take them out and put another coin in to replace and upgrade your collection. Now, one of them $4, 2 of them $8. You can have your pick. I have several of these available, both 1 and 2, and they ship together at $3 more. And I had a package here. What'd I do with that, I suppose? No, it's gone. Where the hell did that go? I had it. Is that it? No, that's not it. Let me look around for this just 1 minute. Well, how can something that big disappear so fast? Good Lord. There it is. Alrighty. So if you just want the 2 folders, you're looking at $11. Comes in a padded envelope. She'll hold up beautiful, just as firm as could be. And when I ship items, that's what they're going to look like when they come to your house. Okay? You get the mailing label, first class mail. It's sealed up. I've got tape on the label, so that's not going to get peeled off and your stuff is lost. If it does get lost, your shipping address will be inside that. And these are pretty darn handy. So consider, get them all. Get a 3-pack of the flips and boxes, plus the folders, plus loops. I'm out of scales right now, but I have some more on order. But if we get too many people want too many flips, I can get more within a week, and that's not a problem. I'm getting, I think, 10,000 in my next order, because boy, they're handy. But get away from those cardboards. They're less expensive up front, but they're single use. And these guys, these are unplasticized, so they're meant for long-term storage. Pick them up, try them out. And if you order something, I'm going to start putting some, in with each order just to try them out. And let's see where we are here. Hey, Shirley. Hi, Ravenhawk. April's here. Good to see you. You're going to have to rewind the whole darn thing. I got me 1900 laptop run. I don't know what that means. That's what. You have reflective image of your screen causing lag. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll try to put something up in the way. Maybe that'll work. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. The coins are good, but well, geez, people need this stuff, and as long as I'm sending them the coins, why don't I, offer this other stuff? The loops, I make like 50 cents on these babies on a good day. Two of them together, they're $3 a piece. Two of them for $5.50. I want to get these out in everybody's hands so we get more stuff to be found. There's so much stuff out there, If you know what to look for, you need the equipment to look for it then. So that's what we're doing there. I hope to do a coin market show, but boy, I'm so far behind now. Well, we'll get there within a week. But I'll have some weeks coming up very shortly. That's my next project. The trivia contest is still running. I've got the book still back up here on the shelf. And my next priority for the day is to make a coin trivia class. So that'll be next. Give me a couple hours on that. I'm going to have some lunch and, use a bathroom. Okay, folks, just remember, I keep saying it, there's nothing you can't do. And as soon as you believe that, it becomes true.